Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga Magnificat with Mathia. I hope you guys have been enjoying this nice weather we've been having, even though it's been very hot. It looks like we're going to get some rain. And I hope quarantine hasn't gotten you down too much, even though it's been a while. And we've had some setbacks in Zone 5. With that being said, some of you might be wondering whether or not I'm going to be reopening my studio during the next phases of Phase Yellow. I know that a number of studios and gyms are able to open, maybe, if things go well, after this coming Friday. As for me, I've decided to remain closed until September because normally I have my full schedule until June, and then my kids are out of school and I'm with them for 2 months. So now that the children are constantly with me, for now up until September, as it seems, I'm going to be home with them and present with them, and I think that's the best choice for our family. So many regrets for those of you who are missing out on yoga. I will still try to aim posting some of these online videos for you during times that I can fit it in during the summer. Otherwise, I hope to see you back in the studio in the fall. With that being said, we're going to get started in our next yoga flow. Today's class is more of a kind of an intermediate class. It's not going to be a full out yoga burn class where we're going to go really hard. It's just kind of to get your blood flowing, get parts of the body stretched out, feeling really good, and just testing the waters a little bit. If you haven't been challenging yourself lately, this is probably a good class for you just to get back into things. So we are going to do some sun salutations. We are going to be putting more pressure on the wrists and the hands. No balances here, but we will be going up and down from the mat, from the ground to standing, and etc. So all you need for this class is a mat yourself, maybe a block, maybe a strap, your choice. And we'll start in child's pose. So go ahead and come to the middle of your mat. Bring your knees out wide, big toes to touch, and sink your hips back, pushing gently into your hands. When you can go no further, let your arms come forward, drop your head to the ground, take a deep breath in. Expanding and exhaling, softening down. Again, repeat, inhaling deeply. Really inflate the back. And when you take your exhale, see if you can let your body completely melt down towards the floor. Inhaling again. And exhaling. See if you can allow any preoccupations in your mind just to flow away. If you're feeling some of that chaos from the news cycle, sadness or grief over what's been happening in the United States against our Black brothers and sisters, those African American friends of ours, or people that we just know are hurting right now. Set an intention, perhaps. Allowing your heart to open to those feelings of grief and sadness. But at the same time, allowing love to flow in. Hope for change. Hope for light at the end of the tunnel, for justice, for healing in America. In North America, where our attitudes, perhaps spoken or unspoken, against people of color might change, and change for the better. Take one last big inhale. And one last exhale. Let your hands walk up towards your body. Come into a tabletop position. From here, we'll begin to wake things up a little bit more, coming to spinal balance. So hands underneath shoulders, knees under hips, belly is tight towards the spine. Let's take the left foot back. Straightening long, heel to crown of head. Second option is crawl the right hand forward, lifting it about shoulder height, getting really long, pushing strong and away with the left hand. From here, lower that hand and toe down, lift up. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, lift up, pause. From here, right hand comes to the floor, left toe swing off to the side and over to the left side of the mat. Land the foot. Now push strong into both hands, gird up your lower belly, and see if you can lift that left foot off the ground. Holding it here, whatever height you can manage. It's a really hard pose. Don't worry if you can only manage to lift it a little bit, or if you need to lower it down once in a while. And then slowly swing it back. This time, hover in the air. We're going to cross that left toe over to the other side. Gird up your belly muscles and press it back out to the side. Now we're going diagonal, so to the floor, and then up and out, back down. So think about going at an angle towards the ceiling and coming back down. Lift and squeeze. Bring it down. Last one, lift and squeeze. Good. From here, knees come back down to the floor. Other side. Let's take the right foot back. Nice and long. Take the left hand forward. Reach. So lots of options here. You can always stay with the hand on the ground, or you can test it out and see if you want to have that left arm float up. From here, as you exhale, tap everything down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap it down. Try to keep your core from dipping down. You're trying to keep your core nice and solid. Last one, lift it up. From here, left hand comes to the floor. Toes turn to the right. You're going to swing it off to the right side. Now, from here, push your hands strong, set up again, and begin to push into those hands to lift that right foot up. Remember to breathe. And swing it back. Knees come to the ground. One more child's pose. Open up those knees, toes together. Bring it back. Let's release those lats a little bit, shoulders. So bend your elbows, bring your hands over your head, and press your triceps and your lats to the ground. Take a deep breath. Deep breath out. Maybe connect with your intention to open that heart, see things from a new perspective. Imagine light gathering into your heart. Maybe feeling a little spark of hope on a dark day like today. From here, let's set those hands down. Lift the head. Bring your hands about shoulder distance apart and your knees about hip distance apart. Now slide your body forward. Now you might need to measure your knees back a little bit. Come into a modified plank. You're going to dip your hips down, untuck your toes, and come to your first cobra. Now press strong into your hands so your shoulders go down and back, so you're not hanging out and letting your elbows or your shoulders go up to your ears. Stretch up the front line of your body. Exhale, tip your chin down. Belly comes up nice and strong. Hips towards heels for a little child's pose. Inhale, come forward, same thing. Start a modified plank, lower those hips, and then open up the chest. Keep pushing into your hands. Again, push into your hands, lift through your belly button, hips to heels, child's pose. One last time, come forward, rippling through, inhaling. Descend those hips, relax through your hip flexors and your quads, push down into those hands. Exhale, chin down, lift up, hips to heels. From here, let's make our way to our first downward facing dog just to build up some heat. So make sure that your hands, your fingertips are really, really wide. and that you're trying to squeeze that imaginary watermelon between those elbows. Lock in those shoulders into place, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and press into your hands. Press strong enough that you feel your head moving back towards your biceps. Press gently into your heels. Don't stand on your tippy toes and propel yourself forward. You want to feel the weight in your heels as well. Equal weight into hands, equal weight into feet. Take a moment here, pedal out your dog. So bend one knee, straighten and bend the other. Inhale, bend one knee. Exhale, straighten, bend the other. So just alternate pedaling out your feet here. This is called walking your dog. Really nice posterior body stretch, gets the entire back line of your body and starts to warm up those shoulder muscles, back muscles. Press your heels down. Begin to look forward, bend your knees, walk one foot at a time up to the top of your mat and stay low. Take a forward fold. Now my hamstrings are super tight today, so I'm going to keep them fairly bent. But I'm going to allow myself to fall forwards, drop my head, maybe support myself, hands on the floor or a block, or hook them behind my calves. Inhale, hands on the thighs, press strong into a number 7 or a halfway lift. Bend your knees, come all the way up, sweeping the arms to the sky, hands to heart. Inhale, come all the way back down, forward fold. Knees bent or straight, your choice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend those knees, hands to the floor, walk back to your plank or modified plank. A little easier is put your knees down. And then bend your elbows, squeeze them towards you like you're holding that watermelon. Lower yourself down, wrapping those triceps back. Untuck your toes, slide up for your cobra. Exhale, come back through, downward facing dog. Feel that intention into your hands and feet. Feel the strength of your own body, pushing up against the floor, rising up. Bend those knees, look forward. Walk one foot up at a time and forward bend. Let everything out. Inhale, get those kinks nice and long, stretching it out through a halfway lift. Bend those knees, come all the way up. Hands to heart. One more time through, inhale to lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk or hop back to a plank or modified. I'm going to show you a little bit harder version is to come forward, wrap your elbows towards each other and bend those elbows like a shelf supporting your body. And then flip one foot and then the next, coming to an upward facing dog. So the only thing that is touching the ground are your palms and the tops of your feet. Exhale, chin to chest. Flip those feet, press the hips up to your downward facing dog. All right, we're going to keep moving a little bit here, a little bit faster, one breath per movement. So plant those hands really strong, fingers really wide. Walk your feet together, a little bit close. Right leg lifts up high. Don't dump your weight into one arm. Make sure two hands, both equal in weight. Let's take right knee to belly, knee to chest. Inhale, come up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, come up. Knee to chest. Inhale, come up. This time, knee to chest and hover. You're going to hold it here. You're going to tap that knee down. Lift it, tap the knee down, lift it one more time. You got it. Let's plant that foot right between the hands. So low lunge. So before going anywhere, walk your hands slightly forward, coming into a standing splits. So lift the left leg up as high as you can. Again, my legs are super tight today, so they're not going to go very high, and that's okay. All right, so drop that left foot, come into your low lunge or staying here. Left hand to the floor, open to your twist, right arm leading to the sky. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Think about your shoulder blades going on top of each other. If you want, turn your top hand around and hug it into your low back. Continue looking up, opening up your shoulder. Press through your left heel and feel your hips sink just a tiny bit. Unwind, right hand comes to the floor. You're going to skip that right foot back. Lower down, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, come up, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press it back into your downward facing dog. We're gonna go right into the other side. This time, feet together, left foot lifts up, three-legged dog. Hands are even here, core strong. Knee to belly, come forward. Exhale. Inhale, push it straight up. Exhale, knee to belly. Inhale, push it up. Knee to belly. Push it up. This time, knee to belly, we're going to hold. Pull it up. Push into your hands. Hike those hips up as high as you can. And dip for 3. Lift. 2. Lift. 1. Lift. Plant that left foot between the hands. Stay in low lunge. Whew. Hands a little forward. Come up for your standing splits. Right leg comes up. Head towards the ground. Take a deep breath in. Strong through those legs and the core. Drop that right foot back down. Make sure you have lots of space so that your hips can drop, that they're not high up into kind of a pike position. Right hand to the floor, twist to the left. Squeeze those inner thighs. Now push back against your right heel. Okay, so notice I'm straightening that leg. I'm sinking down my hips a little bit. Core is drawn in, legs are squeezing together, shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. If this is really difficult for you, you can always bend that back knee and put it on the floor. Okay. Take that left hand down, we're gonna plank. So left foot back, modified plank or full plank, your choice. Belly, or take your chaturanga, your choice. Inhale, come on up. Downward facing dog. All right. Take a moment. Inhale and exhale. Bend those knees, walk it forward. Take a forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend those knees, come all the way up. Hands to heart. Whew. Let's take a nice side bend. Right hand to the hip, left hand up and over. Look up towards the ceiling, so you're trying to keep that left shoulder back and not in front of your face. Inhale, come back up. This time, left hand to your side, right hand up and over. Looking up to the sky. Oh, it's raining right now. It is the day of this taping. It is Saturday afternoon. And after 2 days of intense heat, this rain looks pretty welcome, especially for our plants and gardens, right? Inhale, come back up. Let's bring the arms all the way to the sky. Take a forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. One more halfway lift. We're just stretching things out a little bit here. Let's bend those knees, hands to the floor, walk or hop to your plank, lower to your floor or chaturanga, your choice. Inhale for your cobra or upward facing dog. And then from here, push it back into your downward facing dog. All right, pedal out your dog. Take a moment here. We're going to change things up just a wee bit. So we're going to come back into our regular down dog. Bring your big toes to touch. Right foot lifts into three-legged dog. So make sure you're nice and strong to both arms. Make sure both shoulders are locked back in the same place. So they're not dumping into one shoulder more than the other. This time, here's a twist. Let's take the right knee over to the left. So literally a twist over. Cross and bring it up. Cross. Bring it up. Cross. Bring it up. Plant the right foot. Come up for your high lunge. Squeezing those inner thighs together. Get it nice and tall. Take a deep breath. Core is always strong. If you can keep your core engaged, you're always going to be making it active, making it strong. Now let's take the arms forward. Right hand peels back. Come into an open twist to the right. So you're turning towards the same knee that is in front. In case you're kind of confused, push back again through your left toes, your left heel to really lengthen that back leg. And then see if you want to take your right hand to your left thigh, coming into a reverse twist, twisting lunge. Cycle down into a low lunge twist, just like we did in the first variation. Maybe wrapping that arm around. Hands come to the floor, plank. Lower down, your choice, chaturanga, even if in your modified plank. You can always do that chaturanga as you see here, kind of like a push-up on the knees. Let's do the other side. Left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Let's begin to cross over. Tuck left knee to the right elbow. Push it up. Exhale, tuck to the right. You don't have to touch your knee to the elbow, but just try your best to squeeze that oblique. Last one. Send it up. This time, left foot plants, high lunge. So set yourself up, bring the arms up to the sky, slide the shoulders down, core in. Settle into your variation of lunge. We're going to open it up. Hands come forward. Take your left hand, swing it or peel it back. So you want to reach for those fingertips as much as you can. And at the same time, with your inner thighs, try to squeeze them together. Find your back foot. You're going to push that heel straight if you can. Oh, or even come lower and try to get a more 90-degree angle at your left knee. Oh, yeah. Let's take that left hand to the back of the right thigh. Right hand comes up and over. Reverse twisty lunge. Okay. Come back and cycle the hands down into that low lunge twist. So the palm goes to the floor. So you're not really moving the hands except moving them up and down. Left hand to the floor. Let's kick it back into plank. Lower down. Inhale, come on, up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ooh, boy. All right. Bend those knees. Walk it up to the outside of your hands till you come into Gomukhasana. Sorry, not Gomukhasana. Malasana. This is called garland pose in English. So what it looks like from the front is I have my feet wider than hip distance about with my toes turned out. And I'm sinking my hips as far down as I can, using the elbows to press those knees apart. So putting the hands at prayer position and keeping those forearms as parallel to the ground as I can. Now, a lot of you, if you have any restrictions in your back, your knees and your hips, you're going to find yourself tipping forward and wanting to be up on your heels and not able to come down as much. If that's you, feel free to stay on your heels, roll up some towels underneath your heels, and that could help you relax a little more. Or you can sit on a block and place it right underneath your bottom. Okay, so Malasana is just a really nice way to open up those hips and create that length that we need to sit in a position like this. How very practical, right? We do this every day. So as I advise people in my classes, you can put your laptop down during the middle of your work day and you can try working like this just to shake up your posture a little bit throughout the day. Yeah, right? All right, so we're going to take this up a little notch. We're going to straighten up, look down underneath those knees. Hands can stay together and you're going to come back down. Whew. Now, if this is too hard, put your hands on the floor, especially if you've got your heels up, right? And if you can't bend down that far, take a little squat and bring it back up. Otherwise, I really challenge you to keep your hands off the floor and try your best to really squeeze those inner thighs to get your legs pumping with blood and warmth into those muscles. I know, this one's hard. Last one. Sink it back down, oh boy. Hands to the floor. Lift those hips, toes in. Stretch it out for a forward bend. Tip forward into your hands a little bit more. See if you'd like to straighten those legs a tiny bit and lift the hips up. Head down. You might find that your legs are a little warmer now. Mine definitely feel a little bit more open. Not a whole lot, mind you, but I do notice that they're a little bit more open at this point in time, so I'm going to give them a little bit more straightening. And then inhale, halfway lift. Oh. Bend your knees and come all the way up. Awesome job, everyone. Let's come back to the top of the mat. So from here, we're going to place the feet together into chair pose. So glue those legs together and sink back. Now bend your knees, keep them on top of your heels, away from your toes. And then sink back, drifting your hips, keeping your chest forward and looking up. Don't look down. Try to keep your back from the top of your head to your tailbone nice and straight. Hands come up. around the sides of your ears, sink down a little bit more. Weight is in your heels. Core is drawn in. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. From here, hands to heart. We are going to come through to a high lunge using warrior three. So balance on your right foot. Look down somewhere for a place to stare at and begin to glue the knees together, lifting your left foot off the ground. You gotta have a little bit of balance here, a little bit of trust in your own body. Now, if this is too difficult, you can keep the toe on the floor. Okay, then from here, step your left foot back, open up into warrior three, kind of like a T position. Try to keep your left hip down, so your toes should be pointing to the ground and not off to the side. And then slowly lower down to a lunge. Inhale, lift it tall. We're going to open it up to warrior two. So left foot, toes open about 45, right knee at a 90-degree angle. And then roll the shoulders back and down. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Core in, glutes activated. All right, so from here, we're going to stay in our warrior position just to get nice and warmed up. And then we're going to flow. Let's flip the front hand. Come to reverse warrior. It's going to move to the back of the room. Inhale, lift up. So your back hand is on your left leg. You can look up to the sky. Exhale, stay here. Right elbow to your knee, left arm up over the sky. Maybe over the head. Make sure your left shoulder is back and is not right in front of your face. Core is drawn in. Again, legs are really strong. Inhale, move through warrior two, again to reverse warrior. Exhale, come forward, elbow to thigh, or you can make it harder by coming down to the floor. Inhale, come all the way up. Again, reverse that warrior. This is called reverse dancing warrior sequence. So when you go forward and back like this, that's usually what they call it. Draw your tummy in. Good, come back to warrior two. All right. Let's straighten that right leg, come to triangle pose. So same thing as in your side angle, you're gonna reach forward, drop your right hand, and this time take your left hand just over your head. Your right leg is really straight this time. Both legs are straight, lean slightly back. Good, see if you wanna drop that hand a little bit more. Now if you're dropping it low, but your upper body on the left side starts doing this, coming down and looking towards the floor, I advise you to stay up a little higher. I know I say this a lot, but I can't stress it enough to take things easily when your body is ready for it. All right. Oh, I feel that stretch in my inner thighs, my obliques. So that's the side waist. All right. Let's bend that right knee. You can use your right hand to help yourself up. Right. And then from here, cycle down into your plank. So the hands come to the floor, right foot kicks back, plank or modified, lower down, your choice. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press it back. Downward facing dog. All right. Take a moment just to stretch out your legs. Feel the difference between the right side and the left side. And we're going to start back at the top of the mat. So bend your knees, look forward, take one foot forward, and then the other, or hop slowly, and take a forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Get nice and long. Bend those knees, come all the way to the sky. We'll come back to our chair pose. Top of the mat. So feet come together. You're going to sink back into your heels. Inhale, sweep the arms around the face, up towards the sky. So you're creating a nice long line from your tailbone to your fingertips. Sink down a little bit more. Just holding it here, breathing. Hands to heart. Stare at a spot on the floor or the wall. Balance on your left foot. Begin to flamingo chair. So you're going to think about maybe just propping yourself with your toe, squeezing the knees, or maybe lifting the foot off the ground entirely. Now from here, the hardest transition is finding your balance to open up into warrior three. So the head comes forward, foot pushes back into kind of a T shape if you can. Left knee can stay a little soft. You don't have to be fully straight here. Core has to be drawn in though. Shoulders slightly roll back. Drop that foot into your high lunge. Inhale, lifting high. Find a moment here. And then take your right toes off to the side. and open it into your warrior two. So again, right toes 45 degrees and really pushing off the edge of your foot. That leg should be straight. Your left knee about 90 degrees or less on that ankle. Should not be forward past your toes. Arms forward and back. Now squeeze the knees towards your pinky toes and get your glutes activated. Core is drawn in, looking to your left hand. Find your steadiness here. Find the activation in your base, your legs, your feet before we move. Dancing warrior sequence coming up. Flip your left hand, bring it to reverse warrior. So you're going to open it. You take a back bend to the back of the room, keeping the bend strong in your left knee and coming forward, elbow to your left thigh to your side angle. Now here, really squeeze your left hip in towards your right glute. Don't let it pop out. Inhale, come all the way up with control, using your obliques, the side waist muscles of your abdominal area. Come forward, shoulder or elbow down or hand to the floor. If you want to make it a little harder, again, squeeze the left hip into your right glute. Inhale, come up, reverse that warrior. Taking it slow here, just to work those muscles extra hard, and come forward. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Set up for triangle, straighten the front leg. Reach forward, kick the hips back in space. Lower your left hand. Try to bring your right hand up and over and decide how high or low you want to be. You're leaning back slightly, you're keeping that left leg sucked into that right glute again, and then see if you like to come down lower. Without compromising the openness of your chest, that shoulder should stay where it is rather than trying to collapse to reach down. So if you can reach the floor without changing the position of your top shoulder, then you're all good. Otherwise, choose another way to hold and sustain the pose that's right for you. Remember to breathe. From here, you're going to look down, bend your left knee, help yourself up, and come on through. All right, kick it back, coming into modified plank. So drop your knees, not in tabletop. So notice how I'm more forward and my bottom is more in a plank position, right? Tabletop looks like this. So you want to be further away from your knees. You want to slide your knees your bottom so that your knees to your head is one straight line. Now draw your core up and in. And now we're going to do a little bit of glute work with core. So keep your hands really strong, your core really strong. You're going to extend your right foot out, bring it to the left, and bring it over to the right. Left, right, left, right. Try to bring it up and over. You're going to feel your core working. Try to keep your upper body still. I know it's hard. Last one. And bring the knee side by side. Okay, find your modified plank again. Straighten your left leg. Bring it to the right, tap. To the other side, tap. So kind of like a half circle. Try to monitor your upper body, that you're not swaying around with the movement of your leg. You're focusing on using your core, your glutes, your leg muscles. Whew. Last one. Tap it over, knees together. Child's pose again. Oh, sink it back. Drop your head. Take another moment's rest, breathing here. We're going to take a side bend here in child's pose. So let's take the fingertips to the floor, walk over to the right side, go as far as you can, and sink back down. Feeling that lovely stretch on the left side body. And then making our way back past center over to the left. Once you've reached as far as you can go, you're going to settle yourself down. Maybe rest your head against the right bicep. Take 3 long breaths. Come back up. tabletop position. Let's take thread the needle. Right arm comes to the sky or to the side. Right arm threads underneath. Land your shoulder and just the tip of your head. Take your left hand by your face. Just push and rotate the left shoulder back. So you're getting this really nice stretch kind of between your shoulder blades, around the right shoulder blade, somewhere around there. As you breathe, you should feel this nice opening across your back. Slowly unwind. Take your left hand up and exhale. Do the other side, left arm through. Set your hand down. Push the right hand to the floor. Open up through the right shoulder. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly make your way back up. We're going to have a seat. This time I'm going to bring my knees and my feet out wide into a nice wide angle straddle. Toes facing up. Lifting the arms up, we're just going to reach forward, hands on the floor or a block. Crawl the hands forward and keep your spine long for this one if you can. So even if you've come down and you can only go this far, that's okay. If you can go down further, go ahead. Use your breath to relax into the pose. Okay, so if you're really excited about a certain position, maybe let yourself take a few breaths before just moseying into it. You don't want your body to get too wound up. You want to see what you can relax using your breath, connecting with your mind, and letting yourself just delve in a little deeper. This is a really nice inner thigh hamstring stretch. Also great for your low back. We're going to do the same thing we did in child's pose, which is coming to the side. So right side first. Walk your hands over. You can frame the foot if you'd like, and you're just going to lower down. You can grab the leg for some stability and traction. You don't have to. If you can grab your foot, that's great. No worries. Slowly come up. Slowly bring it over to the left side. Hands onto the ankle or around, lower down. Slowly come back up. This time we're going to come into double pigeon or fire log. So what this looks like is you take your left leg underneath. You're going to stack your right leg on top. So right ankle on top of the left knee and vice versa. So it looks like everything's in a nice line. Now my hips are pretty tight, so I've got this nice big space in between. That's okay. You can always plug it up with a blanket or a little block, whatever feels good. Now try to keep your toes flexed towards your shins. I'm not pointing like a ballerina, but flexing them towards the front of your mat. Now you could stay here. You might feel it right along the sides of your hips, your glutes a little bit. You could stay or come forward. For me, that might be just enough. Sometimes you don't want to go so far that you feel like you're going to snap. You want to go nice and slow to increase that range of motion very gradually. And if I relax a little bit, because I know I'm tense, and sometimes the tenseness, knowing that I'm tense, kind of adds to my idea that I'm more tense than I am. And then as I breathe, I might be surprised that there's more room to go further. So I didn't know I could go down this far today. And now look at me. Once it starts, sometimes you can't stop it. And sometimes there's no going further, and that's okay. Let's come all the way back up. Whew. Let's unwind those legs. Let's take the right foot under, the left foot on top. So same thing here, flex those feet. Keep your feet on top of those knee area, not on the bone, but just sort of front forward and not tucked right into your thigh. And then feel free to stay here or angle forward gently. You can feel free to pause at any time if you find that some of these stretches are really great and you want to spend longer times using them, stretching them, or doing other stretches. Feel free. And take your hands all the way back. Let's uncross those legs. We're going to come to our backs. So from here, come onto the floor with your knees bent, arms out to the sides like a T. Now we're just going to drop the knees over to the right. And you can bring your feet apart if you like a little more. You can even take your right heel and put it on top of your left knee to weigh down that internal rotation of the left hip. Settle your left shoulder down. Make sure both shoulders are fairly evenly weighted and not kind of thrown off to the side. And that's the essence of this twist, is keeping your upper body flat on the ground while the middle of your back starts to lift. You might have a little bit of your left glute off the ground, no worries. But you don't want to be on your right side. It's not a fetal position. Now let's uncross, bring those knees up. This time, knees to the left. Take your time descending those knees. Some people find that their back is sensitive. You've got to take it slow. Now, feel free to take your left heel on top of the right knee. Again, make sure both shoulders are on the floor. You feel this lovely little twist around your right side body and around the hip. And just melt right into it. Slowly release. Bring those knees back to center. Give yourself a great big hug. Maybe pressing the knees towards your chest and your head towards the knees. Slowly release. Place the feet down. You could stay here or straighten the legs in Shavasana, whichever you choose. Close the eyes and let yourself rest. You made it. Good job. From here, maybe come back to your intention. With this time, the heart facing the sky. Breathe deeply up into the middle of your lungs, upper lungs, the air surrounding the heart. Let your shoulders fall away. Breathe in peace. Exhale judgment. Inhale, breathing in love. Exhale, frustration or anger. Let it go. Breathe in hope. Hold it there. And exhale, let anything else go. Staying here with your breath. For a longer Shavasana, please press pause. If you're ready to get up, feel free. Begin wiggling your hands and toes. Feel the lightness in your body, peace in the mind, body, and breath. Namaste.